Welcome to your Saga Oasis. Have you ever noticed that you often get caught up in judging others and interfering in their lives without even realizing it? And have you ever thought about the consequences of these actions? In the book, The Shadow Thief, by French author Marc Levy, the story revolves around a boy who is frequently bullied by his classmates. However, he accidentally discovers that he has a special superpower. If his shadow overlaps with someone else's shadow, he can steal their shadow and hear the secrets of the shadow's owner. Through this ability, he learns that a seemingly cheerful and carefree classmate is actually hiding a broken heart. Or another friend who appears happy but has endured a painful childhood. Some people look very mature and composed, but are secretly haunted by dark fears. We can easily see ourselves in this story. In reality, everyone has their own weaknesses, scars, or hidden stories. Others are no exception. So how can we act thoughtfully and sensitively towards the hidden parts, the undersides of others' icebergs? 1. Keep others' weaknesses in the dark. Bob and Bill are new neighbors, and both are attending the same middle school. Bill is a big, mischievous boy who often skips school and hangs out with other kids who like to fight. He frequently bullies his classmates, including Bob. Bill often forces his classmates to buy food for him, and when he's in a bad mood, he tends to hit them. However, through a series of events, Bob accidentally learns a hidden truth about Bill. In reality, Bill is a very gentle child, but his father sees him as not manly enough. His father constantly scolds, humiliates, and even beats him. Once, when Bill went hunting with his father, his gentle nature prevented him from harming a small wild chicken, allowing it to escape. This made Bill's father furious, shouting at him and calling him useless. Bill is an average student, mostly getting B grades, but his parents believe that since they pay for his education, he should be getting A's. To them, B's and C's are the marks of a loser. When he's sad, Bill often eats a lot to feel better, making him much heavier than his classmates, which angers his mother. Bill grows up in a family where he is not valued by his parents. His father constantly yells at him, and his mother always pressures him about his grades and weight. Bill feels like an unwelcome fool. He has been very miserable since he was little, and it has only gotten worse as he has grown older. Being looked down upon by his parents is like a fatal blow, and this is the thing Bill wants to hide the most. But upon learning this truth, Bob chose to respond with kindness. His kindness wasn't about trying to console or offer advice, but simply keeping silent and holding Bill's weakness like a shadow behind him. Bob understood that Bill was deeply insecure, and that all his bullying was just an attempt to attract attention and seek validation from those around him. A few days later, during a camping trip by the lake, Bob accidentally fell into the water while playing. The lake was quite deep, and Bob was taken with a cramp, nearly drowning, but Bill jumped in and saved him. On the way back, Bob proudly told the class that he was lucky to have Bill, who was really amazing. At that moment, Bill was completely stunned by the praise from the teacher and his classmates. From that day on, Bill became a completely different person, quieter, and no longer bullying anyone. Eventually, Bill was elected class president and grew up to become a kind-hearted bakery owner. The world is diverse. Each person has their own circumstances, and everyone has weaknesses, embarrassing moments, and awkwardness in their lives. We can see the weaknesses and clumsiness of others, but it is very difficult to see the truth hidden behind them. Often, behind someone's confusing words and actions might lie a scarred childhood, a life of hardship and humiliation, or feelings of helplessness that we know nothing about. When you become aware of someone's weaknesses and embarrassments, choose to remain silent. Never expose them. Just staying silent is more than enough. This is true kindness. 2. Do not interfere in the lives of others. Amy and Ben are a married couple who have been together for 5 years but have decided not to have children. They both love animals, so they want to dedicate their time and effort to pursuing careers in healthcare and supporting rescue organizations and wildlife conservation. However, both their families and some friends constantly pressure them, believing that having children is their responsibility and duty. This has caused Amy and Ben to distance themselves from their relatives and those friends, no longer confiding in them and limiting their interactions as much as possible because each meeting leads to tension. After a while, their families and friends decided not to interfere in Amy and Ben's decision anymore. Instead, they supported and respected the couple's choice. They understood that Amy and Ben's happiness doesn't necessarily include having children, and they have the right to live their lives the way they want. There is a saying that goes, "Everyone has their own life route. You have a mountain you want to climb, and I have rivers I want to cross." The person climbing the mountain doesn't need to ask how deep the river is, and the person crossing the river doesn't need to care how high the mountain is. Mountains and rivers are different paths, but each path has its own beauty and challenges, different circumstances, different emotions. Even when dealing with the most important person, even when you want the best for them, do not interfere in their life, because you don't know what concerns and untold secrets lie behind their life. Remember, it is their own life. In reality, we often encounter such well-meaning people. You want to study a field you're passionate about, but someone with good intentions tells you that it has no future and that you should choose field A or B for a better outcome. Or you want to focus on building your career, but someone with good intentions advises that you should get married first before establishing your career. You want to return to work after having children, but someone with good intentions advises that women should only stay home to take care of the family. Actions that are believed to be well-intentioned may not necessarily be beneficial to others. A piece of advice that sounds smart and rational might actually be negative to the other person. Ultimately, people differ in their growth experiences and actual circumstances. No one can take responsibility for someone else's life, nor do they have the right to decide it. Your answer, even if absolutely correct, might not be able to address someone else's concerns. No matter how good a relationship is, don't try to be a mentor who advises others. As a German writer once said, "I will only give advice when others come to me. Even then, I am cautious because experience is like old clothes and rarely fits others." Help others when they seek you out, but only if you can truly help. If you cannot help, please step aside. When others do not need you, even if you know something that could be beneficial to them, it is better to remain silent. Instead of using good intentions to interfere in others' affairs, focus on your own matters and take responsibility for them. 3. Don't touch others' scars. Luke was a victim of school bullying throughout his high school years. The memories of being bullied are deeply stuck in Luke's mind and have significantly impacted his confidence and self-esteem. Luke has tried to overcome this and start a new life in the university environment, where no one knows about his past. When he shared his past story with a close friend, this friend understood that bringing up the bullying could cause Luke pain again. Therefore, the friend decided not to mention that past unless Luke wanted to talk about it himself. The friend always quietly supported and encouraged Luke in his current activities, helping him rebuild his confidence without needing to recall those painful memories. In reality, we all have a corner of sadness in our hearts, just like Luke. It could be a broken relationship, a humiliating fall, a terrible failure, or a regret that will never have a chance to heal. Each of us lives through such moments. Therefore, when you see someone else's scar, please do not touch it. Do not bring it up, as exposing it is like rubbing salt into the wound. The famous economist Friedrich Hayek once said, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and these good intentions are what we think are right." The greatest kindness is not to intrude into others' lives, not to break the boundaries between you and them, and not to touch their emotional wounds. Remember that no matter how hard life gets, there are always people silently protecting us. Life always has its regrets, but there are also countless warm moments quietly hidden away. It is these silent acts of protection that make our lives sweeter. If you can, please be that wonderful presence for someone else. Be the one who silently protects them. It's the end of the video. Thank you for joining us today. And don't miss out on more videos from us by subscribing and turning on the notification bell icon.